Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. My name is Nayim. I'm your host, and this is Q&Nay episode 8. 2025 is already off to an extremely chaotic and devastating start for tens of thousands of people in the Los Angeles area due to these unprecedented wildfires reaping havoc on everyone and everything in its path and sparing nothing and no one it touches. And amongst those tens of thousands of people affected is singer and songwriter Jhené Aiko. Now, you're probably asking, Nayim, why do we care? What are you talking about? What does this have to do with anything? Where are you going with this? I have to tell you that while you may enjoy your favorite singer, your favorite rapper's music, your favorite producer's beats, your favorite actor's movies, your favorite director's scripts, and you might have your entertainment preference of choice. You may enjoy your favorite video game programmer or whatever they do, but you might enjoy the stuff that they are giving you because you might, that might be what gets you through your day or takes your pain away or whatever you got going on. They're not doing you any justice by not telling you how to live a prepared life, or at least pushing you in the direction of living a prepared life and mentally preparing you to have to get yourself off of the X. See, forever, pretty much, as far as we've been alive over here, all they've cared about is the material side of the entertainment. The side that is the glamorous side, like the Rick Owens and the Amiri jeans and the Balenciaga shoes, and get the Hellcat and get your favorite gun and get your favorite op and look at my diamonds and look what I got, you ain't got it, and you ain't, and look at my holes, and all those things. But we need to transition artists and really everybody, because this can apply to anybody. I'm gonna only say that one time. We need to transition you into a life where if you had to drop everything you had right now and go, you would be able to do that. And it would make your chances of surviving SHTF situations even better. Today, we're going to be making you mentally aware again of the stuff you're going to face as an artist and transitioning you into living a prepared life from an artist standpoint. So talking about Jhené, she has lost her life's work in these wildfires. Everything. It's all gone. They have nothing left. She says, they were able to get a few mementos out the house, pictures and stuff like that. She does have 2 children. And for those who did not know, this is not the first time she has lost her home in a fire. When she was in 2nd grade, her family house burned to the ground. They lost everything. It was all gone again. And she said she went to school and people were really mean to her because they thought her family was rich. And they were probably just assuming that because they thought, because she wasn't rich, that she was rich, that natural disasters would not affect them. Ultimately, the community came together and gave donations to help them get back on their feet. Now she's having to relive this childhood trauma, and her children have this childhood trauma, the same one that she had. Moving into the mental side of this, I went looking to see, and I didn't see anybody really even speaking on this from the standpoint of being a human being, because the sentiment is, I don't care about rich people. Who cares about millionaires? Who cares about people who have stuff? That stuff can be replaced. That stuff is just stuff, and who cares? And da da da. Nobody cares about people anymore. And it's sad because when you look at these fires, the fire didn't say, oh, let me just hit rich people. Let me just hit middle class people. Let me just hit poor people. Let me just devastate the haves. Let me just devastate the have-nots. The fire clearly is non-binary, indiscriminate, and don't care who it touched as long as it's touching. And it's touching everybody it can come across, right? We've lost touch as human beings with being empathetic. And I'm telling you right now, I know this is about to sound sad, but the day that you decided that you were going to be somebody, you have just made most people your permanent enemy. You didn't even have to have done nothing. It was just the day you changed your mind, the world already turned against you, because most people are unsuccessful and most people are going to be unsuccessful until the day that they die. They don't want anything out of life. They don't want no more than they have, and they have nothing. But they are just looking for comfortable, quiet deaths. They know they're struggling. They're trying to take their mind off it. That's why whenever they see something bad happen to somebody who has something going on, it makes them feel good because they never saw themselves even getting to a point. I'm not at Jhené Aiko level. I'm not a millionaire, but you got to understand that the moment that you actually start getting something going for yourself, people ain't about to cheer for you. People ain't about to be happy for you. When bad stuff happens to you, that's going to make them feel better. They don't care that she's reliving the same thing that happened to her as a child, not taking into an account that she might have, mental health issues based on those childhood traumas. She might be self-medicating instead of going to get medical help. She might be getting medical help, but we know that it takes a lifetime to get over. You don't ever get over trauma. You just learn how to adapt and move with it. She's just a famous person. What about all those other people? People, I find it funny that we have people saying California deserves this. And, I got my gripes with California. It is what it is. I think we all do. It's one of those states like New York and Florida, but they see these things happening and they, on one side, because I don't like, and I'm not saying me, they don't like a place and they're equating it to Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's well deserved. It's a plague. It should happen when I don't like it, but it's an act of God. And we got to pray for those people. And this is a tragedy when it's people you do like. But we're talking about mentally preparing you right now, because this is what's going to happen to you. People going to see bad stuff happen to you and they're going to cheer for it. People going to see you lose everything and they're going to feel like you deserve to lose everything because you made it, because you made something out of yourself, because you decided to go and say, you know what? I don't want to work in this warehouse for the rest of my life. I'm going to go get a CDL and make something out of myself. You know what? I'm done being a secret rapper in my house. I'm going to actually go outside and touch people. You know what? I'm going to cut my camera on and talk to people direct, because nobody around here want to tell the truth. The second that you decided that you didn't want to be a CNA, that you wanted to move up to be maybe an LPN or something, the second you decided that, compassion is gone, love is gone, care is gone. You need to be prepared for that. You need to be ready for that. That's just like the first side, and just knowing that the people around you are probably the people that care about you. There's going to be more people that hate you and don't care about your situation than it is going to be people that do. Now we're going to move into, just let me add this segment in there, because the reason we're even at this point as a nation, as a planet really, but as a nation, is because this is a nation of idol worshipers. We talk about idolatry a lot because they're not looking at people as humans. They're looking at these people as something that's above them, when these people should have been taking their time to let you know that I can do this, you can do this. And that's the positive side, but this can happen to me and this can happen to you too. It's the idolatry that makes people, have calluses on their heart, have calluses on their soul, where they don't even feel that your life is, their life is worth anything, because they feel so low about themselves. Now, when we talk about preparedness, why should you be prepared? It goes back to what I just said. It's because as long as you're on this planet, it can happen to you. You're not exempt from anything. You're not immune from anything. You don't control the weather. You don't control nature. But as long as you're on this planet, it can happen to you. Now, that does not mean you're going to survive. It just means that when you're prepared, and the equipment is cool and the gear is cool, but when you're prepared, it gives you a better chance of being able to survive a situation. In the songs we hear about them having their guns on you, but they don't tell you need to go train. They don't tell you what you need to do. A lot of times these people get pulled over with these firearms and they'll have 5 different calibers in the fire, just looking crazy. Just, they're not giving you anything that you can use after that. So with preparedness, because we're talking about Jhené and losing her home and transitioning you into a prepared lifestyle. What is home? We know that our home is our sanctuary. That's saying home is where the heart is. That means everything in this situation, especially seeing tens of thousands of people lose everything and lose their home and not having anywhere to go and basically being, left on the street if they lived, left on the streets and trying to escape from this hell-like situation and not having nothing to show for anything that they've ever done with their life. Because most of those people were not rich people losing their homes. Home is your safe space. Home is where you're comfortable from. Home is where you go to escape what's going on in the outside world, because your home is everything. It's your castle. And I know personally, especially this week, I live in Richmond, Virginia right now. And it's my primary residence is Richmond, Virginia. And we have been under a water crisis that lasted about 6 to 7 days. And the water crisis was some people did not have anything coming out of the tap at all. And some of us, I had water coming out of the tap, but it was under a boil water advisory. They said don't shower in it, don't drink. And then over the week, as things got back, because we had it wasn't bad going out, but we had a snowstorm and an ice storm that knocked the power out over at the water place, and it caused malfunctions. I know how hard it is, especially since, in my early 20s, I was like 19, but in my early 20s, I was homeless at one point. So coming from being homeless to being where I am now, it is hard to be like, I am going to leave my home. I have to leave my home. Look at everything. I came from nothing. I worked for my stuff. I'm not leaving all my stuff here. And the reason I'm saying this is because even though I had somewhere else to go, I had another place I could go, in my mind in the beginning, I knew that I have a sentimental attachment to stuff in my house that, yes, most of the stuff in my house can be replaced, but there's things in my house that could not be replaced. And I'm just talking about not having clean water. So not being able to be here and take proper showers, or not being able to drink out the tap. And for people who's like, haha, you still drink out the tap or whatever, when you live somewhere, you should be able to. You mean to tell me that you'll put the water in your ass, but you won't put the water in your mouth? What's the difference? It's still going inside, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go too far into that. What I'm saying is, you have an attachment to, especially when you work for something, you have an attachment to that. And I know that a lot of people in California, just like Katrina, just like Florida, just like North Carolina, just like Palestine, Ohio, and all these other places where natural disasters happen, you have an attachment to your home and your stuff especially when you work for it, because that's all you have. What about the things that cannot be replaced? The biggest thing that cannot be replaced is your life. You're one of one. You hope you get out with your life, but what about pictures? What about, heirlooms? What about things that you might have got from a deceased family member, or a family member that, is incarcerated, just any scenario with things. We all have stuff that cannot be replaced. So going through this water crisis this week and having to just take a step back and say, I still struggle with detaching from materialism for the most part when it comes to certain things. Like, I downsize, I get rid of stuff and all of that stuff, but living comfortable just comes with a level of that materialism. But again, we're talking about preparedness. I'm not guaranteeing this, but there may come a time in your life where you have to drop everything and leave for what's on your person, or you might have to drop what you're doing and grab that to-go bag and get out of the way, get out of the house, get out of there, because the only thing that you're going to be able to save is what you have on you in your life or your family's life. This is why I'm bringing up the detached materialism, and I want you to drive that into your head, because if you do decide to stay, just know that the stuff in your house can be, and I'm repeating myself because this is important, can be replaced. Your life cannot. When we go into what should be on your checklist, because I'm probably just going to attach the ACOG video that I did for the Always Carry Our Guns podcast, Everyday Carry, to give you a full breakdown of that stuff. And I'll have a timestamp in here where you can see that. Know that your everyday carry and your prep life, the first thing you should be doing is trying to get off that X. Second thing is, everything is not one size fits all. It's going to depend on where you are. And when we talk about artist preparedness, once you move past your laptop and having a spare microphone or the microphone you use to record, cell phone, and all the little things that you would carry around as an artist, flash drive and extra power banks and all that stuff. The second thing you need to prioritize, well, the first thing, because the first thing would be your physical fitness and stuff like that. Because if you can't move and you can't run and you can't get out the way and you can't lift stuff, then you ain't no good. The second thing would be those things. But once you move past the itemized portion of the basic part of preparedness and everyday carry as an artist, you need to start thinking about first aid, because a lot of the times we know that a lot of these people live a very scant life. They live life with drugs. So, this is one that I keep in my car. This is the one that I keep in my house if I had to leave my house or whatever, as far as first aid bags goes. But first aid needs to be the next thing, because as well as you could end up in a wildfire and lose everything, what if your situation or Hurricane Katrina or something like that, or there's an oil spill in your town and nothing is usable, or Flint, Michigan, you might not have a SHTF or a disaster that's that big. Your disaster might be a car accident. Do you have what you need in your car to be able to get out of that or render first aid to people in the car? What if it's not the car accident and you have a flat tire? Do you have an air pump in your car? Do you have, stuff on your person in your vicinity, depending on what kind of life you live as an artist? Do you have those things? First aid should be at the top of the list. And if you need, ideas about first aid, obviously, just based on just this Richmond water crisis, let's say you're out. So I'll just show you what's in this bag. This is my small first aid that I keep in my vehicle. I got a CPR mask, respirator, just in case somebody needs CPR. I've got this extra strength Tylenol, 500 milligrams each. Being a person who works in hip hop, you never know when shots are going to ring out. And I know, haha, funny, but it's not funny. I got chest vents and chest seals just in case. You never know when somebody's going to get shot. And this is just the stuff in the car, and it might not be a gunshot. It could be, any type of projectile going through the body. Alcohol pads. I got rubber gloves. I should have replaced this with something else, but I got a quick clot. I got wound closure with the stitches, and I got a compact trauma bandage, like the gauze thing. So this is just the stuff that I would keep in my vehicle. Obviously, in my car, I got a battery jumper just in case the battery dies on the vehicle, and you should know how to work your vehicle as far as what's going on under the hood. I've got a tire thing in your vehicle if we're talking about your car, because if you have a tour bus, if you have your car, you should have the jumper cables or the battery pack, because you can buy them $100, a good one, to jump your battery. You should have all the coolants. You should have everything that your vehicle needs, a jerry can, gas can for those who don't know what that is, so you can get fluid. If you have a tour bus as an artist, or you're traveling on a tour bus, you can go buy one of these. I don't remember how much I paid for this. I bought it so long ago. This is the 2019 Road Atlas. This is for a semi truck, but if you've ever been on a tour bus, a lot of those tour buses can be the same height as semi trucks, as well as RVs or Winnebagos, I think Winnebago is the brand, but the RVs and stuff. And the reason that you would want something like this, and this is the Rand McNally one, opposed to a GPS. You need a GPS too. This is 21st century, but you want the truck one because this is going to tell you everywhere you go, where you can take your tour bus based on, low bridges, because I think the height is like 13 and a half feet for the thing. And you want to make sure you're able to travel through places and what will be the restrictions and stuff like that. Obviously, it's just all type of stuff that you would need. Well, I have it. I do have it. This is a plate. Everybody knows I have a plate carrier with actual. This is a real plate. This is a level 4 plate. This is bulletproof through and through. Level 4. A 50 BMG can hit it. It's not going through. And body armor is really only as good as the first aid that you can get to. Obviously, when you are a person who is a musician and you live on the road or you have to leave your house, I have a bag. This is a water resistant bag, and it's not proof because there is a zipper, but it locks, so you can't unlock this bag. It has all my important documents in it, like social security card, birth certificate, any deeds, any title to cars, all type of stuff. All that. These are just things that you want to make sure that you have in a place where you can grab them and go if you need to. Now, going a step past that, and if you need complete list, you need to go down to your local health department. They have these emergency preparedness bags. Every health department has them. You can keep it in here. This is going to tell you, your emergency contact info, family info, financial info, health info, your property stuff. This will give you everything you need. And this is every state, no matter where you go. Obviously, the fun, these are the things that people don't want to tell you about this stuff, but making sure you have a bag where you can grab stuff and go. Because like in those enrichment and stuff, let's just say, I'm not gonna say it like that. Let's just say in the wild, with the people in the wildfires and stuff, and they didn't have water and they didn't have that, this is essential to always have some type of bottled water, whether it is this kind of water, or if you need to get the gallons, or just somewhere where you can have water. And I have this on the table specifically because this is stainless steel. So no, you can't microwave this, or you shouldn't put this in the freezer. But if you need it to an emergency situation, you can put water directly in this and put it directly on the fire and burn this, so it will clean your water and heat it up. As one thing I did want to mention, because we were in this water crisis, is I have a water bag as well. And I have so many things, stuff to test water, extra water. I had other water testing kits, stuff like this, water purifying tablets, a couple of those, life straws, you keep them. And my thing is, it's better to need it and have it, well, not need it and have it, than to need it and not have it. You don't want to be these things, you don't want your stuff just sitting on the shelf. Get your stuff, learn how to use your stuff, especially if you're a person who has to travel. If you are a musician and you don't have your concealed carry, and you're not working on getting some type of license everywhere that you're going to be going, you need to go ahead and do that. There's no reason for you to be out here without firearms. It's no reason for you to be out here without some type of physical fighting things. Like we got the custom, and this is clear, we got the custom Nayim Edwards Glock 19. You need something, you need it. There's no reason to not have it. And we always carry tourniquets. That's not my everyday carry, that one, because I don't carry nothing with my name on it. But, get you a good, don't go to Amazon and get no weird BS red dot. Go spend some money on something that's going to hold that zero. So if you need it and you have it. Other non-lethals, pepper spray, pepper gel. Every time I come across somebody, I give somebody something like this, because you never know who you're going to run into. But the most important thing will obviously be food, water, and first aid. And before first aid is going to be water and food, because you can't produce those on your own. You have to get you some canned goods, get you something. You know, there's a lot of stuff that has to be, you need to be considering being an artist. If you had to stop what you're doing, get you a good bag, throw the stuff in the bag, look at it, go over it. Don't just have it sitting there looking cute. Like, know how to use your stuff, know what you're doing, have the stuff that you need. Go read books, go outside. Don't just, you know, just your first time being exposed to it in the middle of the crisis. You know, there's a lot that has to be said and has to be done to get people into it, because this should be your lifestyle, especially those of us who are away from home a lot, especially those of us who are not on solid, you know, when the ground is moving under our feet a lot. We're here, we're there, we're going all over the place, we're doing this, we're going into different places. It's more than just having some money. It's more than just putting it up. You know, this stuff isn't to be cute. This stuff isn't for show. This is your real life after a while. You know, like this becomes a real thing when you decide that you're going to do something for real with life. So it's just something to think about. You know, we didn't have to go through all of this, but I wanted to show you so you know that yes, it's an extra step. Yes, it's going to be, you know, it might piss you off because it's taking extra time, but guess what? If something was to happen, and you're more likely tomorrow to get into a car accident than to be a millionaire going to your next show, you want to make sure that you are prepared for these things. How many times do we hear about artists that gets into car accidents or got shot at here and they didn't have nothing, they didn't have no tourniquet to stop that artery bleeding in their leg, and then they died. They didn't have no chest vent to keep them alive because nobody around them knew first aid. They didn't have no CPR training. They didn't have any water testing kits or purification in their house to see what was going on. You know, everything was a joke and everything was to turn up, but sometimes you need to turn down and turn your brain on so you can go out here and perform for your family if you need it. Especially those of us who stand in the front. You know, I just wanted to bring you this. I'm about to put the everyday carry video at the end. I have decided I am going to do that just so you can have a point to be able to see my in-depth. And it's a little dated. We might go back and update it another time, but thank you if you even made it this far. Shout out to y'all. We're going to do the OG Mako video tomorrow. With that being said, I will holla at y'all. Educational video where we'll be walking you through everyday carry in the modern world, as well as discussing things you need to consider for your everyday carry setup, journey, and lifestyle. When it comes to everyday carry, most people have regulated that to grabbing their phone, grabbing their keys, grabbing their wallet. They might take a sweater or a jacket outside. They might have an umbrella in their car. They might have a spare that's not flat or a donut that's not flat. But because of where we are in society today, where the normal thing is convenience, the normal thing is off-putting and offshoring, for lack of a better term, everything that has to do with your safety, everything that has to do with your security, people have become complacent with things not happening, not even realizing that we live in a time now where you don't have to be looking for danger. You don't have to be looking for trouble. You don't have to be looking for madness and chaos and death or destruction. It might come to you. It's only really a matter of when something will happen. And we're not talking about your airplane falling out the sky while you're on your way to vacation, or a bomb dropping on your house, or a bear coming through your front door. And these are all scenarios that absolutely can happen in the modern day. But we're talking about being ready for the car accident, being ready for the flat tire, being ready for the house fire, being ready for things that are more likely to happen to you every single day in you living your regular life as a regular person, and making sure that you put yourself in the best position possible to win. Not get over, not barely skate by, but actually being prepared for things that will more than likely happen than the things that I mentioned before. The first layer of your EDC is always going to be your health, wellness, and physical fitness, because you need to be able to fight. Worst case scenario, you need to be able to run. If you don't have your health, wellness, and physical fitness, you've already lost. So that is something that you absolutely need to prioritize taking care of, maintaining, and always pushing yourself to that limit, so you're always prepared. Because if you're not able to, if you don't even have that together, then nothing else will really matter. The second part of your EDC is knowing that no equipment and no tool can circumvent the training. We always have to be training. We need to be training as frequently as possible, because having these things and not knowing how to use them is just as bad as not having them and needing them in the moment. So you always want to make sure that you stay on top of your training. I want to go through my personal layers of everyday carry. People need to understand that everyday carry is supposed to be tailored to you. You may live in a different place than I do. You live a different life than me. You're a different person than me. You have different preferences than I do. And you need to make sure that the things that you have for your everyday carry that you are comfortable with, it is specifically tailored to you and your lifestyle. So if you ever have to use these things, it will be second nature to you. It won't be foreign or some type of a strange concept when it comes to you being able to be in that best position to win. My first layer of everyday carry, these are the things that I carry with me all the time, no matter what. You won't catch me at the mailbox without these things. So the first thing is always going to be my wallet. It has my ID. It has medical information. It has my concealed carry. It has stamps if I need to mail something real quick. It has NFA, what is it? I have my registration and licenses for NFA items, emergency contact information just in case I don't have my cell phone. Always just having those little things that matter, because this might be the only way to, identify you or verify your identification if you are in any of these situations. And I feel like most people carry some type of wallet with them every day. This is the first thing I have. Second thing I always have is I always carry a notebook, and I always carry a pen. This is just the pen that I have on hand with me right now. I have several pens, and I usually have a marker with me, but always carrying these things, because again, you might be in a situation where you do not have a phone to jot something down. And I know me, if it's something severely important, I'm not about to ruffle through no notes on my phone or any of that kind of stuff. Or again, your phone might be dead. You might not have it. Another thing, you will never see me without a regular watch on. I do not wear smart watches. I used to wear my Apple Watch. I don't wear the Apple Watch anymore. I haven't for a long time. If I do, it's to keep track of something, or, if your phone dead and you need to call or text or something like that. I always have a regular watch. I always recommend having a regular watch. This is a G-Shock. You put the battery in there. You don't have to change it for 10 years or however long the battery would last if you get a good battery. Time, day, date. That's all I need. And you don't have to worry about if something with the electricity or something with the internet goes down. You'll still know what's going on because you have a regular watch. Another thing I carry with me, everyday carry pocket knife. This is the Smith & Wesson Sideburn. I use it for anything. I need to cut something. I need to screw something in. This is just a basic pocket knife. It doesn't do anything special if I need to cut food or cut something outside, or just any basic thing you would need a pocket knife for. Another thing I carry, and I'm not giving medical advice or anything, but I carry naproxen. You might be somewhere where the lights are too high and it gives you a headache, or your knee hurt or something like that, and you just want to be able to take care of it right then and there, or you get a cramp or something. Obviously, I have the most basic med kit that I put together. This is my everyday carry med kit. You might throw it in your bag and forget about it. And in my everyday carry med kit, I have a CPR mask, and I always recommend people to get some type of CPR training. And I have a tourniquet. I have the instructions for the tourniquet. This is I think it's a Cat 2 tourniquet, but it's a certified tourniquet, $30. I have the trauma scissors in there, trauma shears. So if you got to cut through a seatbelt or you got to cut through clothes or jeans or anything like that, and obviously a marker. And that's the only thing I have in this small kit. And of course, because we are a COG, we always carry our sidearm. It doesn't matter what the brand is, but this is a Smith & Wesson. I run a Holosun. This is a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. Chambered in 9mm. I run a 15+1 magazine and a Holosun red dot optic because I like the red dots. And it doesn't matter what your EDC is as long as it's reliable. I tell people you buy once, you cry once. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you have a sidearm or a compact pistol, because that's a compact pistol that you know how to use and you're comfortable with, and you will not hesitate to use and use accurately. And you make sure that your red dot optic is properly sighted so you're not accidentally hurting a little league team. Now that is my first layer. My second layer of everyday carry usually involves everything that I have. So I would have that, but then I would go up a step. So up a step, I carry a splint kit, because you don't know. I've been in a head-on collision. I've been in a car accident before. I've been in 2 car accidents before. One collision into a wall where you don't know if you look down and your leg is broken, you might actually break your finger in the house cooking or falling or sprain or something like that. And you need to splint up. And in this kit right here, this is a little bit more complex. It's the same as the other kit, and we'll actually open it up and tell you what we have in here. And if you're wondering about the patch, this is, what's this, the American flag? That just indicates you are friendly. And this is the identifier for the med. Again, in here, I have another CPR mask. I have another tourniquet. I keep a whole thing of alcohol pads in the front. And then I have an emergency blanket. I think this is one emergency blanket. So I keep an emergency blanket. You never know. You might have to pull over for an accident or something. Somebody, and it's raining and they need to be covered up. That's what I have in the front. And in the back, I have, where is it at? I have nothing in there. I have my stop the bleed stuff. So I got a chest seal. There's actually two chest seals, 2 quick clots, and then I keep wound closures. So this is basically like, temporary stitches so you can get to the person or get yourself to the hospital, whatever. And this is all the stuff that you would keep in whatever bag you want to put your stuff in. I have my bag. I'm not going to put it on screen, at least not right now. The next part, and this is all the second layer, because like my second layer again is about equipment. Here's the bag. So I keep this, and I usually keep a couple of these in the car. This is, this is like reflective tape, but it's like the vest without all the extra clothing and stuff on it, because you might be out night, you need to change a tire, you see somebody walking on the side of the road, give that to I used to keep vests that I would get like from Walmart, and I would like throw on to people because people are always walking in the middle of the night. I'll demonstrate that later. This is a Ziploc bag. It has a flashlight in it. I keep lighters because, again, this is the modern world. I'm not rubbing 2 sticks together to start a fire when Bic makes impeccable products. I got some glow sticks. I keep pepper spray. These are just things for the excess kit. And this is something that would go in the trunk of my car. I have another knife, and I'm sure I've shown this one on my YouTube channel before. This is a OTF knife out the front. That's what OTF stands for. Not that a crazy mother effer from Chicago. I keep hearing protection because when I move up to my second layer of everyday carry, it involves more powerful, more loud firearms, and we'll be getting to the firearms. But I keep hearing protection just for that. I keep these tablets, and what these do is you put a couple drops of water on them, and they expand into full-blown rags, like disposable rags. I always keep an extra headlamp and an extra small flashlight, and I have a big Floodstorm flashlight. I don't have that in here with me, and they already have batteries. You just pull the tab and you will be able to get to the battery. I have another small trauma kit, but this one includes, gauze, band-aids, Q-tips, things you'll be able to, do stitches with if you needed to do the handmade stitches, if you assuming that you didn't have the other, you didn't have like butterfly stitches or something like that. I keep an extra pair of safety goggles because, again, you never know what you'll have to do with your other firearm. Going up and I keep a knife sharpener in here because you don't know, again, when you're gonna need that. I keep an on the leg holster outside the waistband on the thigh holster. This, I don't want to take this out, but I keep a packable rain jacket because I am always outside, and somehow, some way, a scatter shower will come through and I won't have anything with me on hand, and I'm just able to just pull this out real quick, put it on for the 15 minutes it rained, pack it back up, and put it back in my bag. This is a knife that I keep, and this knife in particular can saw through bone. So I don't carry this around because you can't legally conceal this anywhere, I believe, especially not New York. And I won't be going there. We'll talk about that another time. Emergency, like fishing kit and things like that. So, emergency rope if you need to tie stuff. Just little things like that. A saw, whistle, just those little camping type of little things that I keep in because, again, most things have multiple use. 1,100 feet of paracord because you never know when you need to pull something, wrap something up. Multiple use for the paracord. A multi-tool, and this one actually has pliers, an axe, and a hammer, as well as, a saw, other little things on the inside of there. I keep a life straw in the bag too. Again, you never know when you're gonna need it. You can get these from the store for like $20. Going a little bit deeper, water. What is this? This is a drinking water test kit that I always keep. And obviously we have iodine tablets and things to purify any type of water that we need. And what would that extra layer of everyday carry be without some type of gloves? So we're going to toss this stuff back in here so we can get to discussing that next layer of everyday carry. My level 3, which is the ultimate level for everyday carry and concealment. Y'all always hear me talk about having a fire extinguisher. You should have a fire extinguisher for every room in your house, but you need a fire extinguisher for your vehicle. You need a fire extinguisher for your house. I always have a fire extinguisher for the vehicle because you never know when you're going to come across a vehicle fire. You never know when you're going to be in a vehicle fire. You never know when you're going to have an oven fire, somebody frying french fries and burn the house down or cooking crack. Whatever people do, you never know when you're going to need this. You need to get one and you need to get it serviced if you have one, or get it replaced if it's been discharged or something like that. Obviously, handy dandy plate carrier, whatever plates you want to run. This plate carrier in particular, you can put side plates in. All the stuff on the front comes off, extra magazines and all of that. And when I speak about camouflaging, because we're about to go through guns and then we're going to be out of here. When I speak about camouflaging, I talk about like if you want to be out and not be noticed wherever you are. So this is just one example of the many costumes that I might wear when I'm out, because you don't want people to know what you have. You don't want people to know where it's at. You don't want people to assume that you are as much of a threat that you are. So this is a regular, I got this from a grocery store. This is a Caterpillar backpack. That's not an endorsement or anything. It's just a backpack. But this is a Caterpillar backpack, regular old backpack. It looks like a work backpack. And what I keep in here, and I will usually keep this stuff in my car, I keep a hard hat. Now this hard hat, I just got this like 3 weeks ago from Lowe's. I've never used this hard hat. I just put it together, but you never know. Realistically, you probably need to take up some sandpaper to your hard hat, rough it up, bang your head against some stuff, beat it against a wall, hit it with a hammer, stuff like that. Put some stickers on it, write on it, make it look old, get it dirty, because you don't want people to it looks real suspicious if you have a hard hat and it has not been used. So that's one of the many things for concealment. You might put a work vest on to make it look like you just got off of a construction job or something like that. You don't want to be out here attention whoring, trying to make a scene or whatever, flashing your firearms so people can see and all of that stuff. You don't want to be one of those people. You want to be the person where if they fuck around, they find out straight up and down, or you can get away, or you're just not making yourself much of a target. Now, let's do the part that everybody loves. Let's do the firearms. Every firearm that you are about to see is clear and ready for demonstration purposes only. When it comes to your personal sidearm or whatever firearm you decide that you want to carry with you every day, you need to make sure that it is properly clean, that it is properly functional, that you are properly greasing it, and more importantly, you are properly trained. You want to make sure you know how to use your equipment. So obviously, I have my sidearm right here, my compact sidearm, excuse me. Again, these are all clear and ready for demonstration. I also recommend that people have some type of full size. Now I'm turning this towards me again. This is empty. This is a personal Nayim Edwards Glock 19, probably the most popular sidearm on the planet. And you just like to have options. This is another one that I have. This is a full size Smith & Wesson. And these are all the sidearms. Now, those are all level 1. And obviously I keep gloves. Those are all level 1. When I move to level 2 and level 3, and I need something a little bit more powerful with a little bit more capacity, I would move over to some type of AR style platform. And this one just happened to be chambered in 9mm. And it takes those Glock magazines those Glock extended magazines that everybody loves. Again, these are all empty and ready to use. Now, when I'm going up to this level here, one thing that I like is my, what is this called? The FPC. And this is a folding carbine. So this takes 9mm rounds as well. But the only difference is this folds out into a now full-size rifle style platform, and this is a Sig Sauer Romeo optic I'm running, and I also have one iron sight up there, so just in case the optic battery stopped working, we still have the full platform. And my favorite part about this is it folds in half, and I can just stick it in the bottom of the bag and forget about it. Now, when we talk about level 2, my favorite part of level 2 and level 3, and especially for level 3, is running the AR-15 platform of gear. This is clear. I built this myself. I love this. I'm running a Sig Sauer Romeo 5. I have iron sights. I have a thing that I put up here as a brass catcher. And of course, for maximum storage, this folds so I can just drop this in the bag, flip it out when I need it. Of course, we have the custom Nayim Edwards magazine for this, and this is my baby. And this barrel in particular is this is 5.56, but you know, if you know anything about it, you could put 223s in here as well. But I usually, if I'm taking this out the house, which is most of the time, if I'm, you know, throwing it in the trunk of my car or under the car or something like that, it's chambered in, you know, 5.56 by 45 NATO with a 1 to 7 barrel twist, which means, and this is a 7.5 inch barrel, which means that bullet is going to have one complete revolution every 7 inches. So this still gives me the full power of a 16 inch. Well, you know, it won't be as powerful as a 16 inch because the 16 inch might, you know, give you at least 2 or 3 spins, but I still get the same power and the same accuracy as if I had the full size rifle. But let's see. In a compact, ready to go with the compensator, by the way, ready to go, throw in the bag, forget about it type of situation. But knowing that I have the stopping power and I'll be able to get that distance, because you might have to take out a threat that wants to take you out from a distance. So, and that is my personal everyday carry. These are things that everybody should consider when it comes to your equipment, when it comes to what you got going on. Buy once, cry once, man. Thank you guys at the ACOG podcast for having me. The ACOG Gun Club. This is a very important place in our culture. So these are all the things that I carry for my everyday carry. And what I want to mention about this plate carrier in particular is that you might be more tactful and more skillful than the people around you. So you might actually carry that for your girlfriend. You might carry that for your children. You might, you know, throw that in the bag for people that's around you, just so you can get away from whatever the threats are. So this has been the Always Carrying Our Guns educational everyday carry. Until next time.